Christmas singing. Tim and I, why don't you guys help me out?
Oh, man, I got a cold.
You're sick again? Bob, come on, man. You're my brother. Don't leave me hanging.
I don't know, man. I better stick to the drums.
All right, shine, you guys, man. I'll do it myself. Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. This isn't gonna work, guys. Come on! A beautiful sight, we're having a night, walking in a winter wonderland. Oh, yes, that's the way I like it.
That's how Christmas music should be.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. Beautiful sight, we're having tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is a new boy, here to stay. Is that good ride? Sings a love song, and we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the valleys, we can build a snowman, and pretend that he is passing round. They say, are you there? But say no way, but you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by that fire. They celebrate the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. Woo! Walking in a winter wonderland. They celebrate as we made, walking in a winter wonderland. The face of the rain, exactly made, walking in a winter
See, guys, that wasn't so bad. Hey, man, I don't know.
Good to see you. Merry Christmas, almost. It's a winter equinox today. It's the least amount of sunshine we've had for the year. What's up, D? Joe? Wallace? Joe? Mel? Robert? And more. I see it filling up. So, made a list on my cool new pad. Well, I'm glad you're not watching me on like a 50-inch television. That'd be weird. Are you wearing earphones? What was that? Well, I better watch my language tonight then. As if. So you guys got any Christmas parties or anything that you went to this weekend? We had our Christmas party. We hosted both sides of the family, as we do every year. It was a pretty good time. It was nice. Everybody's a little bit more grown up, and it was fun. Makes for a good time. It's nice seeing everybody, during the holidays. Yeah. Right. Just a couple of pieces. Yeah, that's true, Nozawa. I know Christmas fudge is the best. It's all fresh. Yeah. I know, Robert Wallace. And I was just talking to somebody, I think it was today, talking about how Christmas was so much fun when the kids were little because they just beeline it for the tree and just start going after it. They'd get their stockings and start pulling everything out. Dad craziness. Mm-hmm. So, I guess I got an early Christmas present. It was some Q drops today. And it's not the fact that Q dropped. It's what Q dropped. It's pretty good. Part of the reason I wanted to go on a little early was to talk about it because I'll just get right to it. Pulling up the Q drops so I can no longer see any of the stream. So maybe. So I'm going to try something here. See if this works. All right, so there have been a bunch of Q drops that have been dropping. This one I thought was especially telling. It was from today. at 6:09 this evening, Eastern Standard Time, 6:09 tonight. It's the first Q drop in 3 days, but these are taking a whole different, not a different direction, but these are hitting a whole new level. So check this out. It's taking me to a Twitter feed. And this is an anon who is referring from a tweet, or excuse me, a Q drop from July 9th of this year. So roughly 6 months ago. And this anon said, Q called this back in July. News broke today. Hashtag QAnon. And this Q drop from July 9th says, AG and Rogers meeting, ? Which is Attorney General, and Admiral Rogers. Admiral Rogers met apparently shortly before July 9th of 2019. And then it says Durham and Rogers meetings. So U.S. District Attorney John Durham also met with Rogers after Rogers met with Attorney General Bill Barr. Next line in the Q drop. Why did Rogers retire? Well, it's starting to sound like the reason that Rogers retired is because he's probably going to be asked to be a witness in the Durham report. And having the foresight way back when to know that he would be called as a primary witness, he had to retire so that it wasn't a matter of national security, or he couldn't be bound to not speak under the rules of the military, something along that lines. So he retired for this moment now. So it says, why did Rogers visit the president at Trump Tower without authorization shortly after a skiff was installed? Well, this is when Trump had first won the presidency, but hadn't been inaugurated yet, I believe. He definitely had won the presidency. Yes, he hadn't been inaugurated, so he was at Trump Tower. And Admiral Rogers went to him and let him know that Trump Tower had been bugged. And you remember that way back when Trump came out and said, it turns out Trump Tower was bugged and everybody made fun of him? Well, it's true. And what happened after Admiral Rogers came up and told Trump that is they quickly packed up their camp and they moved off-site from Trump Tower because Trump Tower was a bug. They could hear everything within Trump Tower. The deep state, over the years, installed their people to put bugs everywhere in there. So the question was, why did Rogers visit President at Trump Tower without authorization shortly after his skiff was installed? He did it for that reason, to let Trump know why. He's a patriot. He's a patriot, like the highest echelon. He's a patriot. Why did select former ABC directors call for the removal of Rogers? Well, why did select former ABC directors implies FBI, C_A, NSA, all of that at the time were very, very dirty. And they were calling for the removal of Rogers because Rogers knew all the deep, dark secrets. And also, coincidentally, like General Flynn, knows where the bodies are buried. So that is why the select former ABC directors called for the removal of Rogers. And this is where we're at right now, you guys. I'm not just pulling these out and reading them. I mean, this was posted July 9th of 2019 to be of relevancy right now. That's why this is such a huge drop. Also, why did President move his transition command center, his base of operations, from Trump Tower the very next day? Well, I kind of diarrheaed into the explanation of that, so you get it. So that was pretty cool. That was a Q drop, which led into a article from The Intercept, which says former NSA director is cooperating with probe of Trump-Russia investigation. This is December 20th of this year. So we're talking just a couple days ago. The former NSA director that they are speaking of that is cooperating with the probe of Trump-Russia investigation is Admiral Rogers. The very reason that he stepped down to retire was for this moment, so that he could cooperate with the probe of the Trump-Russia investigation being put on by John Durham. This is all part of the plan, and it's coming together beautifully. Admiral Rogers is a patriot. So after that tweet, it says something, this is by Q, something big, all in caps, big, is coming. Then there's another tweet. Takes me to the Twitter link. Twitter link from Donald Trump. The Democrats and crooked Hillary paid for and provided a fake dossier with phony information gotten from foreign sources, pushed it to the corrupt media and dirty cops, and now they have been caught. They spied on my campaign. They tried to cover it up. Just like Watergate, but bigger. That is the leader of the free world at 5:14 this afternoon, tweeting this to all of us, letting us know how absolutely sinister and awful this thing is off the rails for the Democrats. I'll read it one more time very quickly. Listen to what it says. This is from the president. The Democrats and crooked Hillary paid for and provided a fake dossier with phony information gotten from foreign sources, pushed it to the corrupt media and dirty cops, and now they've been caught. They spied on my campaign. They tried to cover it up, just like Watergate, but bigger. It's huge. It's monumentally huge. That tweet, which will gain no traction in the mainstream media. I wonder why. So under that tweet, it says, this is by Q, says, do people really think that this can happen with no consequences? Question mark. FISA equals start. Start of what? Q says FISA equals start. And then in all caps, nobody is above the law. And then in bold kill brackets, it says not anymore. Q. Nobody is above the law. Kill brackets, not anymore. Q. We're right here. I especially like this next. And I thought it was going to be the last Q drop for today. It turns out it's not, but I like this because I asked this question myself and I haven't found an answer to it. So listen up. Why are 2 articles of impeachment being held by Pelosi? Will holding actually impact the decision of the Senate? Q answers, no. Will holding actually provide a better scenario, bold brackets, of public opinion to the Democrats? No. Will holding actually sway select senators to change their vote? Maybe within the Republican Party? The answer, Q says, is no. When blackmail and threats no longer work. Big statement, right? So these other things aren't going to work. And then it says, why are the 2 articles being held by Pelosi? Why are the 2 articles being held by Pelosi? Why is she holding them? It says, what happens when the articles of impeachment are sent to the House, from the House to the Senate? What happens? Well, they go before the Senate and they get judged on, right? It says, can the Senate conduct other business during this time? Q answers it for us, no. What value might exist by holding the articles? So what advantages might Pelosi have by holding the articles? That they can hold it above his head and he'll never be impeached? I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. How long do Senate impeachment trials normally take? I didn't know the answer to this, but I figured it's got to be, 8 to 12 months, year and a half? I don't know. Q's just asking. What statements have been made regarding timing? The only thing that I can think of right off the top of my head is that timing is everything. Timing is just everything in this plan. So maybe that's the reason that the articles are being held up. I mean, we don't really know the exact plan and who is a black hat working as a gray hat versus a white hat that is pure patriot. We don't know. I don't know why Pelosi's holding these up. If you have any suggestions, tell me. So that's the only thing that I can think of regarding statements regarding timing. It says, think fast tracking. What statements have been made by Chairman Graham, Lindsey Graham, regarding the Senate FISA hearings and witnesses? And then in all caps, why is Pelosi holding the 2 in bold brackets and bold, 2 articles of impeachment, Q. I don't know. Looks like, and I haven't had a chance to go over these other ones yet. So, somebody posted a picture of Pelosi at the podium with Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, and Elijah Cummings. And Elijah Cummings has his walker, even though he has passed away. And it says, haven't you figured it out yet? It's not about Trump's corruption. It's about making sure you don't find out about their corruption. And Q chose to take that and post that on the board. So that's exactly what it is. I think that's great. And then there's a picture of Obama. It's in black and white, Obama. And then behind him, there's 4 faces. One is John Brennan, one's John Clapper, one's Andrew McCabe, one is James Comey. And it says, never has a president left office to collude with others to impede the next sitting president of the United States of America until Obama. Never has a president left office, like Obama did, to collude with others to impede the next sitting president, Trump, of the United States until Obama. Well, that was picked up by Q and posted also, which means what? True. Second to the last Q drop of the night, Q plucked out a Senator Ted Cruz video. I would suggest you watch it. I've watched it. It was today at Fox News on Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo. If you haven't watched her show, she gets all the best guests. She asks all the great answers, all the great questions. She gets great answers. Go watch that video. I think it's about a 6 to 10 minute interview or something. Ted Cruz with Maria Bartiromo. The show's called Sunday Futures. So check that out. That's just that's something that Q plucked out and put out there, and I understand why after watching. Finally, the last one of the evening, somebody typed in the 8kun chat board, "Toying with the enemy!" ! Don't get smug. And Q took that and then posted a meme where Trump is looking over the back of one of his advisors. His advisor is on a laptop. And it's to imply that Trump is saying this to him as he's typing. And when you finish typing, just sign it Q+. So that was Q who actually posted that. And I think that's pretty big. It's funny. It's definitely funny. So out of that, what I wanted to talk about is what does holding the articles of impeachment mean for Nancy Pelosi? I'll come back to the chat. I want to see if you guys have any idea what would be the motivation behind that. I thought, as I understood it, that if she doesn't come through with the articles of impeachment, that the Senate can still set the date and the time, and if they fail to produce him, he's exonerated. But what would be the benefit in that? Like, kind of allowed to quietly let it go away or something? I don't know. So there was something that Ted Cruz said within that interview. It's not the whole interview, but it was a key takeaway. And what he said was that FISA, which you've all heard so much about, it equals a stunning indictment of the Justice Department, the FBI, and the Obama administration. That's not a small statement. He just put all three of those together, having the one be President Obama. This all came from the very top, the tippy top. Came from the top, came from Obama's administration. He wanted to be aware the whole time this was going on. Isn't that what Strzok and Page were texting back and forth? This one comes straight down from the top, right from the POTUS. Wants to be informed every step of the way. Not my words, their words. Not my conversation, their conversation. They're in big trouble. All of them. Everywhere they're turning right now is a dead end. It's a brick wall. I don't feel bad, but that's exactly what's going on right now. And these people are going to get desperate. I don't know what that means, what they'll do, but they're going to get desperate. Ted Cruz says in that interview that he believes people will go to jail. Something I suspect all of you have known for quite some time. But it's been validated. It's been validated by people with real political street cred. People that are there in the trenches, people that are governing this great nation are saying that people will go to jail. Listen to the statements that are being put out by the Democrats. Listen to them. They're coming out now. They sent a letter, asked for the immediate resignation of Attorney General Bill Barr and Prosecutor John Durham. Said they're part of an elaborate hoax and part of a conspiracy theory to be yes men and completely defend the president of the United States. If you guys want to know what panic looks like, read that letter. That was signed by like 7 congressmen or senators, or I don't know. They all signed it for the immediate resignation. That is straight up panic. These people have no basis for a letter like this other than to try to protect all their ill-gotten gains they've gotten through the years at the expense of you, all of us, and more than us, the world. They've had their hands in every pocket but their own. It's all coming to a stop. I remember it was either last year or the year before that, but I think it was last year. Q posted something coming up around the Christmas time. So what do you want for Christmas? You know, the obvious answer being like, we'd love to see some arrests and stuff. I will not be surprised in the smallest amount. And I could see Trump do it and just have somebody arrested on Christmas morning right out of their house. I mean, that's how little he cares for these people that are really, really this sleazy. I could see him march them right out of their house and their PJs, their poor family. It'll suck, but the person get marched out will understand what's going on and why. Definitely. So, as Pelosi said on these articles of impeachment, I started thinking about something. You know, I went into it a little bit. The why. Why would she she doesn't know what to do with them. She has no viable option that is good for the Democrats in any way. She is holding these because she has no exit strategy at all. Their exit strategy left the moment all the air left the room with the Mueller report. That was the exit strategy. The rest of this is just tap dancing, smoke and mirrors clown show. And they've juggled themselves right into a corner. They can't get out of it. She doesn't know what to do with them. Chances are she'll never turn him in and he won't be impeached. But what I say is this, and I believe this, is that Q didn't take everybody, and President Trump didn't take everybody this far to take their foot off the gas right now. They're going to stomp this pedal to the metal. They got the enemy against the ropes. They're going to finish them hard and fast. So any of this delay, anything that they're trying to do to stop this from going to the Senate will fail. It's only a matter of timing right now. They're all played out. They are simply trying to keep the Titanic afloat for one more song. They don't know what they're doing. They're out of sorts. They're out of control. They're panicked. It's very real. It's happening. And then something that Trump has been telling us in his rallies and his speeches, but mostly his rallies. It's not a new message, but it's a newer message, is that he says, I say patriots, but he says, your best days are ahead. That's a point that he's driving home. Your best days are ahead. Keep your eye focused on it. Keep your eye out there. Just know you're watching it all happen. It's happening. You can't make this stuff up. What you're hearing out of Chuck Schumer, out of Nancy Pelosi, out of Adam Schiff, out of Jerry Nadler, out of any of these deep state turds, they're confused. And they're coming off like utter buffoons every minute going forward. They have no base. They have no momentum. They have no God. Their best days are behind them. Your best days are ahead. And so are mine, and I like that. So that's it. 31 minutes. I wanted to go on early, talk about this. I appreciate y'all showing up. Have a fantastic night. Merry Christmas. If I don't see you before then, have a wonderful, safe, happy holidays with your family. Don't start any fights on behalf of Trump. Just roll with it. It'll be all right. Nothing's worth it. Nothing's worth that. It's not worth it. So anyway, that's it. You guys have a great night. I'll see you soon.